Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome if you're currently here in the live chat. I appreciate it. Now today we're going to be going through numerous stuff, one of which is quite important, and it's regarding Chase Venstra and his court date. There seems to be a little pattern emerging similar to Jim Brenner. So could there be suspicion around it, a deeper reason? Possibly. If you're a little confused, I will explain it to you very shortly, okay, with screenshots as well. Interestingly, it kind of ties in line with a rough prediction I made, in a sense that would there be any more court dates delayed in time? And I say roughly because I did not say Chase Venstra's, but I said a court date, and that's what seems to have occurred here. We put that aside. There has also been a short burst of drama within the Dylan Rounds community, just a short burst of it. It seems like the gears are shifting, and there is, possibilities there will be more drama within time to come, okay? Don't know who exactly, or exactly which platform or which channel, but you can kind of sense it, because if you do have people returning back to covering the case, there's going to be more chances of drama occurring at some point, right? It's inevitable. What I'm going to do is look at the odd few questions shortly, okay? Probably first of all to answer any from the previous video, because there were some interesting points made. Salt3Pancak3s also had a bit of a meltdown in the last live premiere video I did last night. I don't know what that was all about, a little bit confused. We'll get into that as well. Also, shout out to Kongzilla, one of the main gorillas in the chat. Aside from, Gorilla Jack, Kongzilla is another one, right? Appreciate his super chat last night. It was good of him. For a special occasion, it was gifted over temporarily by Gorilla Jack because of that super chat. But like how they knight people, well, there you go. You can have your banana, Kongzilla, from shoulder to shoulder, width to width. Now open your mouth and consume this banana, okay? You got that? Not Godzilla, Kongzilla. Yeah, there you go. Yes. Save a bit for Gorilla Jack, of course. You like that? Good. Right, this will be thrown back over. I'm sure Andrew Culver can assist. Attach this banana to a one-way boomerang so it doesn't come back, and it can go directly to Gorilla Jack in South Africa, because he's still stationed over there as the High Gorilla Council leader, pending for a change in leadership, okay? That's so you're aware of it as well. So yeah, we've got a few different things to get through. You see that in the background, you wonder what that is. Well, people said they want Christmas decorations, so there's like a little tree, okay? I'll bring it up close so you can actually see what it is, okay? Let's just grab this one and this one. Okay. So basically it's from Christmas crackers, the heads of them pulled off. A little bit dodgy, don't you think? The rosy cheeks, the still eyes, the furry, prickly moustache. Wee. And then we've got the other guy as well. There you go. Oh, he's got a very thin moustache and he looks very shy, and so does he. Now, in a situation like this, Jim Terry would probably do something like that. No, not here. We're not going down that route, okay? No gay theories today, no obsessions with that, okay? So you're safe. Just wanted to show you these cracker heads in general as decorations. Yeah. You want to wake up into bed, imagine if they're by your side in your bed. Would you like that? Yeah? Indiana, do you like that moustache? Yeah, okay, let's put them back before it gets any creepier. I think once is enough, don't you think? Can actually rest them on top without them falling. There we go. That'll do. So, you get the idea of the odd decoration. So I think what we do, first of all, is head on over to the last video I did, the comment section, to read some of the contents. The shack lady also responded as well. She wasn't too impressed. Okay, let's head on over now. Okay, so here we go. This is the name of the video. Dylan Round's case, Ellenberg fake account awareness, Lance and Heavy D theory. If you want to watch that video, my previous one last night, make sure to watch it after watching this video. I'll provide a link down below in the pinned comment section, okay? Just going to check the comments here. First of all, we do the newest first. We start from the bottom, work our way up, okay? I think the last time I did something like this was when we were looking at Lance's recent video, his updates regarding the case and the search for Dylan. But also, previous to that was probably pancakes, I guess. And, you know, you remember it didn't go too well, that. But we shouldn't have any issues this time around because it's my own video. So, can't get done for that, right? So, first comment is by June. Now, June is an individual that has watched my videos. I don't know how long for, but specifically to do with the Dylan Rounds case. And maybe June does get about on other channels too. I don't really check, okay? But June said, just wondering, why would you let Salt3Pancak3s put the people down in the live chat that are loyal to you? My response at the time was, well, the people in my chat have been subjected to whippings, visits to dodgy motels enough to cause nightmares, and even 50 shades of dodginess. So they are hardened, not in that way. Maybe Joseph, but he's an exception. There needs to be balance, hence what's displayed on my channel and in the chat. In other words, basically, if I added mods, some people could get a bit power hungry. That would lead to further problems. Don't you think? It's happened already on other channels. Additionally, why add as mods in the first place when it's supposed to be a place to relax? You shouldn't have to worry or be too focused or concerned on who is present, right? That's another reason. And thirdly, you know, as WeThePeople says, no censoring for most part of it. And, you know, if an individual is causing a bit of trouble, the odd block by the viewers in the chat will basically be able to prevent seeing those comments anymore, right? Without going 100% censor mode activated. You get what I'm saying? And the important thing is, June, is that if people do act up in the chat or in the comment section, since their name, their message is displayed publicly, I believe you have the option to report that comment made, right? If you block, hide that user, that comment, they are still present. They might not be viewable, but they're present. And in addition, you're basically giving them even more anonymity. In a sense, you're hiding them whilst they're still present. Whereas if you keep everything up, you've got evidence, you can take screenshots of those comments, and then you can do whatever you like with them. So there are other ways, okay? Now, as for Jane Doe, shout out to Jane. Actually, was there another Doe at some point? It might have been called John Doe in the Kenny Veach case. I'm sure about that. So Jane said, thank you for the dodgy time. Well, you know, you might get some today as well if you're lucky. The Crack Shack is a pretty good chain here. Well, as we saw, it's all over the place. Las Vegas, Utah, Salt Lake City, and further out, and so on. But that will time with the Shack Lady later. And then you got cleared there. Joseph, traffic was awful, just got home. He also has the flu as well. Wrangle. Frozen tongue at the end. I don't know what they're referring to unless that's the name of a plant, possibly. So I don't exactly know what they mean by frozen tongue. I tried fast forwarding it, but it's spazzed out, but I got some image on screen, so they might have been referring to the outro part. Anything else? Oh, TyCorbyn has popped up as well. Didn't see that before. Oh, what's that? Leave? I'm not leaving YouTube. Fuck off. Why is it telling me to do that? Let's read it. TyCorbyn replying to Quinton Lewis. Now, I don't know where Quinton Lewis is in the comment section because he's not shown up yet. But Ty replied back to him saying, I have never told Heavy D or anyone else where to search. Candice Cooley says they're in the wash and wants no one else there to go to get why. Oh my God, I can't read his language. Candice Cooley says they're in the wash and wants no one else there. To get where they landed, a truck would have to go out to the 233, then back into the wash. Very doubtful to me. Anyone else can have at it. Okay. So I assume the 233 is a highway, I assume. Maybe we can do a map analysis at some point, if need be. Oh God, look who showed up again. We the people! Get your flags raised in the sky! Amazing grace! Get ready, fire! What the hell's going on? I don't know, I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. We the people said, what's up, Ty? It's John. Believe you guys may recall all my post and participation during all the searches and lives you and Lance had made. It's got to be getting colder than a witch's tit out there, I reckon. How goes it anyhow? Fucking hell, this language is shit. I've gone to bat many times in past big mouth issues. What are you inserting in your mouth? Keep up the good work and we shall catch up when I'm out that way. How's the back? You good for a day of dirt biking search? I'm bringing extra with me. If so, John. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Ty says, all the help we can get. Look forward to meeting you. So it seems as if this individual has not met TyCorbyn before, but they are planning on meeting. It's 13 hours ago, so this will be coming shortly. Now, as for TyCorbyn doesn't seem to have a problem with me or my channel. You might not always agree with what I say, but that's understandable. As for We the People, I said, this is the whingy, whiniest individual, okay? John 3:16, stop complaining, sit down, have some bread, have some wine. If you got some water, I'm sure that's good enough as well to keep you hydrated. Isn't that right, Linda? Okay. Just briefly go on the channel. No, I do not want to respond back. Thank you very much. I just want to briefly go on the channel. Yeah. Just make sure I don't miss anything out. We the People. Something tells me they may have been present during the Kenny Veach case, because I'm sure there was another person called We the People, but I don't know if it was a different account or not. So I'll be of uncertainty language regarding that. But they joined 2nd of March 2010. They are likely not a fake account or a rat account, but they are a whingy whiner, okay? So, just be aware of this individual, that's all, okay? So, anything else? No, we're still focused on this video because this is where it's all at, okay? So John participated during all the searches and lives of the videos by Lance on his channel. Fair enough, okay? So this person called We the People has more of a positive outlook towards Lance and Ty over someone like my channel. It makes sense because this person, prefers physical action, boots on ground, over keeping the case alive, talking about it. So, we understand that. Let's move on. Ricky. So, Ricky has been decent individual up to now, not caused any trouble. He did leave this comment though on the last video, which is interesting. I know it's not this one. It might be further up. We'll get to that in a second. But the first comment by Ricky saying, I'm hoping that something you say or what anybody says will lead us to Dylan somehow, sometime, hope and faith. There you go, look, we even got a live, not exactly a live, but response to a comment because I forgot to do it earlier. Now this is where it gets a bit uneven, okay? So Shack Lady, this is the real account, okay? As you can see, there's the Shack Lady, okay? You can check yourself because it's in the comment section, but I just wanted to demonstrate that to you because a few people were a bit confused with Salt3Pancaks, thought it was a fake account last night, but it was not. And I can show you that shortly, okay? I'll try to, okay? So, Shack Lady says, Warlike Ref, please do not associate my channel name with any corporate and possibly trademarked business. I really thought you were better than that. Interesting. We will further analyse that comment by the Shack Lady very shortly, okay? What was the reply back? Happy Traveller said, if you're commenting and posting, even have a channel, you are setting up your channel to be noticed by everyone, everywhere. Now, one thing I'll say first of all is I am fully and consciously aware and alert that the Shake Shack or the Crack Shack is not associated with the Shack Lady. You know, it's kind of obvious, of course. It's like me typing in on Google Earth Indiana or something, and then it's like, oh my god, Indiana in the chat is associated with this. Oh my god, Indiana's going to sue me now because there's some kind of cross communication issues. Fuck. Or, oh my god, there's a baguette company called Joseph. Oh no. There's defamation there. It's like, calm down, okay? If you're dissatisfied at this moment in time or later, calm down, breathe in, breathe out. Are you looking at me? Are you calm? No? Well, repeat those previous steps and let me know once you're calm. And then we can continue. So, we'll return to that comment shortly. ArenaBig kind of sounds like a dodgy account, but we'll read it anyway. The fact is these people are doing their best searching to find the missing, and they are getting caring people worldwide that are supporting them to keep on searching. Disagreements, lies, tensions between them is their own business. So please stop all this nonsense and support them and pray for all of them to be safe out there with the weather getting cold. ArenaBig, are you some kind of parrot on the shoulder, some spokesperson telling people what to do and what not to do? Huh? Said by a default profile, first of all, typical, we'll do a little YouTube tour. ArenaBig, default profile picture, 0 content on channel, 0 about in the about section, 0 contribution to the Dylan Rounds case as for the YouTube platform. So I don't think I'll be taking orders from you. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, as for this, it's none of your business. It's none of your business. Well, we've got to understand the pattern that at times with other YouTubers and other creators having a go at one another externally, somehow it then becomes a part of their business, right? At this moment in time, it's like the Shack Lady's business in terms of this misunderstanding of light-hearted humour with the Crack Shack location restaurant. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's public too. Just like how you see on the other channels on YouTube where people are doing the interviews, people are passing on information like TyCorbyn to Jim Terry, supposedly speaking. So, if it is public, and it eventually gets about, then it's kind of like public business, public information, public knowledge and understanding from there. And then even if people just started hinting, the actual direct people involved in this drama started hinting at this and that, they're basically teasing, asking for the information to be discussed at great depths public. So it's not always behind the scenes. That's what you must understand, ArenaBig, which is an odd username. We got the Happy Traveller saying Ellenberg was on No Thanks live stream. She is a toothless hag trying to look smart, wearing earphones, but offers nothing to any table, not even math. Well, I'm shit at math as well, so there you go, a bit of relating there. She was here yesterday and played a good player on your team briefly, but is a robot. Well, just to chip in, okay. So the Happy Traveller has watched my videos as well for some time. Appreciate it. Slight bit of misunderstanding here as for the performance by the supposed Ellenberg recently on my channel. Ellenberg, up to now, doesn't really engage in the live chat. You might see it in the comment section afterwards. Also, shout out to the Ellenberg for the recent super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, you'll see it on a video 1 to 2 videos ago. Okay, so you can check the proper account of Ellen. Okay. Also, shout out to Cleo and Famous Op as well for their presence in the previous live chat as well. It's good of them. But yeah, with the fake account, Ellen acting up, playing up because it was a fake person, trying to create a bad image or a further bad image, however you side or think of Ellen. I don't have much bad to say about Ellen because Ellen hasn't caused me any trouble, so there's no need to cause her trouble. That's just how it works in my mind up to now, okay? But, the fake account makes her look bad. It even externally negatively impacted with Jim Terry because Jim Terry got confused somehow, found out about it, or what Ellen, the fake one, was saying. Jim Terry ended up, or supposedly ended up calling the Ellenberg because there was some kind of misunderstanding, Jim Terry not too pleased, but it was resolved in the end. But you see how things can escalate due to fake accounts. That's the whole aim and purpose of those, right? Not like completely dumbed down, aware of what's happening or the end goal of it, right? Aside from messing about. So, yeah, okay, there's that comment. Well, this one, Happy Traveller, EB does live streaming with no thanks. I guess that means Ellenberg, right? Happy Traveller. What's this? Honestly, I've never ever actually seen a video or live stream with Candice Cooley in the field, searching, moving, uncovering, climbing on or in anything, searching for Dylan for herself. I've seen her in other people's live streams talking about her feelings and thoughts, but shown no evidence, not even shown the boots, or will post any up-to-date pictures of Dylan, even if I've asked her to help get more clues, she will not. She posted a goofy elf pic that helps nobody or anything on Facebook page, which slaps the face of us actually wanting to help share awareness. Now, that can be interpreted 2 ways. One, it's looking back on good times and good memories, especially reflecting because it'd be Thanksgiving just gone, coming up to actual Christmas time as well. So you're probably bound to look back in that way and try and be positive, considering it's even more negative at the moment with Dylan not being present and the inevitable being a bad outcome. So I can understand from that idea. That's why you might post an elf picture like that. As for relevant photos of Dylan, like now or just before he disappeared or a bit before that, that's also necessary because I know people have said they wanted to analyse Dylan further, how he looked physically, his face, any illnesses, any signs of issues or, problems, but, they've not really been shared. I mean, Maybe have you got the right person to ask, like Doug from No Thanks? And Doug said, hey Candice, can you show me some additional photos or could you pass them on? There might be more chance there, right? Because there seems to be some kind of favoritism. If you ask for something, you may be denied or simply ignored. But if you're in favour of someone, they might be more likely to give you what you want or assist in some way, right? That's just how it seems to be. Even to the extreme of how some people have supposedly related to Candice Cooley due to, I guess, like sharing stories of their own issues with family members going missing or much worse, and Candice Cooley supposedly blocking them, which isn't too good, right? And a little bit odd, but who knows? As for Candice Cooley searching, actually going out there, yeah, okay, I understand that, not really seeing that. Though the one thing I did see, and I can't remember what channel it was on now, because, some people have brought those short clips up, was early footage of Candice Cooley walking about the farmland, recording the ground where there was supposedly footprints or tracks. I don't know where it was exactly. It looked like it was near like a few mounds of dirt from the looks of it, so it might be near the grain shed. I don't know if any of you remember. I think it might have been showed on the Mob Crew Chris's channel in recent time or previously. Maybe the Zav Girl and Tyler Feller. Those channels had that footage. I don't know how, but they did. And it was just Candice Cooley walking about with, I guess, her phone or some kind of camera. Image quality fairly blurry, probably about 480p resolution, just walking around looking down at the ground. How do we know it's Candice Cooley? Well, I think it was during an interview or at some point Candice Cooley said, you got my footage, right? You saw me walking about with it and documenting everything whilst we're out there. So there is a little bit of footage to technically show that she was out there investigating. It's one of those things, once again, like a double-edged sword, where one side of it, people will agree and say, why is Candice Cooley not actually searching or recording? She should be doing this and that, and because she isn't, or because the lack of the footage, it proves that she isn't. Does it make us suspicious? Does it mean she doesn't care? What's going on? The other side of the sword will be the people that understand Candice Cooley and say, well, she's got her own life, responsibility, stuff going on in the background. She needs to juggle that on top of spreading awareness of Dylan, reaching out to different platforms, maybe news channels, maybe doing some informal or semi-formal interviews with people, trying to organise things, trying to create that Dylan rounds, gifts and seeds and stickers and stuff, communicate with people there, also moderate Facebook as well, social media. So there's a lot that could be going on. So I do understand it from both sides at least, right? But whilst people are criticising Candice Cooley for not being out there directly searching, has anyone shifted or spread the blame onto Justin and said, why is Justin Rounds not searching? Where's he at? Where's the footage of Justin walking about searching? Has that actually happened? From my own recollection, no, unless I've missed a video or two. The only thing that has been discussed here and there was that stories told by locals, people in the area, like Ty, like Lance, how Justin was down at the food bank at the start trying to get info of Dylan and the locals when that $20,000 reward was set up in Montello at the time by Justin. Candice Cooley was not present from the looks of it. Justin being in Montello for like 2 weeks or so, Salt3Pancak3s documenting it at the time, supposedly, when he was driving by, but didn't directly confront him. Salt3Pancak3s did bring up and question, well, where did that $20,000 reward money come from really early on in the case? Well, if it came from Justin, because Justin has his own company or something, then I guess it kind of makes sense, right? But I can understand if there's some suspicion with money of, people have listened in with the cases of money being stolen or people being in debt in the past, it not being resolved or something, or someone serving jail time. It's kind of like talk like that and some rumours which can set people in a different direction of thinking and questioning, right? But there's been a fair few stories about Justin Rounds and what he's been doing, where he's been at, but not as many stories about Candice Cooley. And because as well there's no proper footage of Candice Cooley out there, doesn't really say much. I mean, you've got the heavy D footage of Candice Cooley out there in the desert, but all she's really doing is stood there with her arms crossed, wearing sunglasses, black shades, and just talking, and that's it. But I guess really one way of looking at it would be you got one or two choices, and this is to answer the happy traveller comment, right? Either you go on the Mob Crew Chris's channel. The only limitation, unfortunately, is you need a membership to watch his behind-the-scenes video of that big push search with Justin Candice Equisearch K9 unit, okay, when they went into the wash. So that is a restriction, but that video with the behind-the-scenes might show Candice Cooley being more active, maybe, playing more of an active role out there. That's one way. Really, the only other way of figuring it out with Candice is, I guess, just waiting for that documentary to drop, right? I'm sure that documentary, for most part of it, will include all the previous footage. That baseball coach, was it? In the early start, where he went to Dylan's farm trailer, looked about, took photos, and I think the vehicle as well. And then Candice Cooley as well with her little bit of footage. And maybe there might be some other additional footage all rounded together in one for that documentary, right? So I don't know when that documentary will drop. I don't know what you guys think of it. I'll do a poll right now, okay? Do you think the Dylan Rounds documentary is a good idea, or is it for negative, darker reasons? Feel free to vote. Now, I wasn't able to create a poll last night because for most part of it, I was on mobile device. And on mobile, you can't respond directly to usernames when you do the @ button. And also there's no option to set up a poll, which is kind of annoying. But, on a smaller device, I guess, you're limited, right? Most of the time I'm on PC, so it's not too much of an issue. Let's move on with the next comment. Weedleby says, there was never a problem with fake accounts until there was a fake Salty account 5 months or so ago. I was in Tyler Feller's chat talking mad crap. After that fake account fiasco began, I always assumed Salty got the idea from whoever did it to him. And now he has went crazy with it since. God, I hope not Salty. It's not cool at all. Makes you look mental. I mean, there's been times, and as we saw last night, where Salt3Pancak3s has acted up or reacted badly to something or misunderstood something. But I guess at times one thing to explain for that behaviour is if Pancakes at a certain point is going through a stressful time, whatever that might be. I've noticed and observed previously in like the Shack Lady's live streams when she invited Salt3Pancak3s on. At times when things got heated, it was associated to do with what was going on in the background with the supposed sleeper cell drama and other accounts threatening Pancakes, hired hitmen and all that wacky stuff, and Jim Terry as well, supposedly saying inappropriate things or suggesting stuff towards Pancakes' family, etc., which was kind of odd if that really was the case. So that is probably going to set him off, and that's, I guess, what happened within the Shack Lady's live streams, because the way he was talking, I don't know if he was crying or if he had a bit of a blocked nose. At times he said things are getting emotional here. So he was reacting, right? And that was because there was a stimulus, there was some kind of negative presence or force changing how he behaves, right, in the background. So what we witnessed last night could be a part of it once again, a breakthrough, a new lead in this whole drama background situation in the Dylan Rounds community, possibly. But maybe when Pancakes cools down, he'll maybe explain things. I think there was supposed to be like a live scheduled video at 0000, which would have been, much earlier on. Take in mind different time zone and stuff with different countries. But that doesn't seem to be present. And normally the videos are uploaded afterwards, if it's a live stream. So unless it was taken down, something went wrong. I think it was called Friday Night Cash Giveaway, one of those. I think it's something he does once a week or so. But I don't know if it happened or if the video was taken down. Does anyone know in the chat? Because it's not on his channel and it's not in the members only section either. So unless it's just processing to be uploaded maybe, or if some bad stuff went down, because as we've seen previous, whether it be JT's channel, Pancake's channel, when some things have gotten out of hand, even in the Shack Ladies, the video has been taken down for good or edited and then re-uploaded. So could be one of those events once again. Weedleby, another comment by her saying the tips aren't burnt. Bit abrupt that, but that's to do with my video when we're looking at some fries, also known as chips. That's going to trigger Americans, I know. But looking at chips, fries, Weedleby says the tips aren't burnt. Think about it. The way the potatoes are cut, think about what the fries would look like if we didn't peel the potatoes first. It's not burnt tips, it's just the skin. So, from my own experience, fries and chips, which I've had, they've not had any dodgy tips on the end for most part of it. Like McDonald's, Burger King's, they've not looked as dodgy. And the times when there might have been, and been a bit brown, the tips were burnt. How would I know if the tips are burnt? I felt the tips, right? I used my fingers, I clenched the tips, and they were hard. Okay? They were hard, so they must have been burnt. They were slightly brown in colour as well. On the odd occasion, black tips. Does that make sense, Weedleby? So, hopefully that answers your question from my experience. And then Indiana says, Dylan Rounds, Dylan didn't like his mother one bit, yet when in trouble, she was his fix. I think Indiana is trying poetry once again. I mean, I don't know if I could make one up on the spot. If you did it a bit different, edited it slightly. Indy had windy. And now I can't think of anything. She sat in a bunker. And no, I can't think of anything. Because I can't do it on the spot. I can't do everything right. I'm not perfect. So, you get the idea at least regarding some of the comments. Now, we need to return back to the Shack Lady, okay? Please do not associate my channel name with a corporate or possibly trademarked business. I thought you were better than that. So I don't know why the Shack Lady is getting so defensive here, because if you think about it, as previously, in the past, the Shack Lady acknowledged that she found my videos funny. She found it funny. But that was because what I was doing, covering, referring to was not them. It was everyone else, whether it be random people in the chat or external channels out there like Jim Terry or Pancakes, right? Even Pancakes at times found it funny, right? Even when I did the impression of Arnold when in reference to Doug, no thanks, trying the Arnold impression. TyCorbyn found that funny, right? So there's like consensus in a positive way. And the shack lady thought the same thing. But her opinion changed to an extent just recently because she was involved in it. Now, I guess as for this corporate and these businesses, maybe so you don't get sued or you don't get any like copyright, but at the end of the day, it's like a play on words once again. It was called Crack Shack. Doesn't say shack lady. Doesn't say the shack lady. Completely two separate things. It's obvious when you read the names out. It's like Warlike Wrath, and then you see Wrath of the Lich Witch King from World of Warcraft. It's like, oh my god, copyright, Warlike Wrath, you should not be using that name because of World of Warcraft, using the word Wrath. What? No, it's two separate things. It's obvious. Unless you had identical names with identical logos and designs, then you can say copyright and you could get caught up in some kind of issue, legal thing. But I don't think the shack lady will be getting caught up in any legal issues unless there is some dodgy stuff going on behind the scenes which I wasn't aware of. But then again, that's them opening up cracks to interpretation and suspicion. So what you could say, arguably to an extent, is kind of double standards. The shack lady finds it funny when other people become the joke, but if she gets pulled in, she doesn't quite approve of it regarding certain stuff. Certain tolerance level, I can understand that. You know, not everyone has a high tolerance level, some have a lower tolerance level, so it's mixed. So yeah, I think with that all being said, round of applause to Glitter Galaxy. Still the #1 leading portfolio out there, Glitter Galaxy. Professional photographer, professional motel owner, professional cosmetic owner in India, and also professional big tip giver. That sounds a bit weird, that, how I worded it, but in like giving out advice to people when it comes to taking photos, and Gorilla Jack with his photography skills and videography. So Glitter Galaxy, you're still up there, #1. High above everyone else in the sky, maybe in the galaxy, because it's glittery and sparkly and colourful. Isn't that good to know, isn't it? There you go. Shout out to Glitter Galaxy once again. So with that out the way, if I can return back to the odd comment just to prove to you it was the real pancakes, I'll do so with the video what we're just taking a look at just then, okay? Okay, so here we are back on that video. We're looking at the chat, looking back at it. I do have the live chat replay turned on, so you can always refer back to it after a live video has aired, or a live video premiere, okay? You can see Salt3Pancak3s there saying yes. We click on it, if it will let me. There we go. And there you go. You got the different options. That's how it looks like from my point of view when I am the channel owner. And it will look for you the same way if you were doing a live video or a live video premiere yourself. Add moderator, hide user on this channel, remove, report, or go to channel. Okay? So, we're going to go to the channel. Look, that's Pancake's main channel. That's his channel, The Salt3Pancak3s. You can see because of the subscriber count, the videos displayed, his shorts, his lives, playlist, community, channels, about section. Really, the only pattern I've noticed with differing YouTube channels, where is that? The short feed. Do you know those edits? You got an edit of Jim Terry and an edit of Diva Puss placing their faces on top of someone else in a joking way. And then you got the likes of that agent Jessica, who did deep fake AI technology of using someone's face and generating it onto a video. So it makes it look more like them. Supposedly that use has been done for some time now in general in life. So you see that trend, differing channels, whether they're doing it to one another, they're using certain methods of media and editing software to hit back in some way, right? Just an observation. So, you saw that, right? It's confirmed. It's Salty Pancakes, the Salty Pancakes from last night. Just briefly read out what was said, right? Just scroll down. What's this? Michelle was saying, just post the URL of the troll's profile and people can keep tabs on it. I was limited at the time because I was on mobile. I think some people in the chat were actually thinking that this Salty Pancakes was a fake because they couldn't check out the actual profile in the chat. Only I could. But I did confirm it was the real one. He says, no. And then Pancake says, lol, so salty cakes. Ha ha ha. That was so funny. Do it again. Do it. Then he says, waiting. Then he says, warlike never has facts. Lol. Warlike, he just goes off whatever everyone else is doing. In brackets, laughing. So, I supposedly never have facts. Yet, I've made countless predictions and they have come true. I've observed human behaviour and it set out how it went. Interesting. I mean, the moment I stepped into this case, I said, humans will cover it for as long as they can. But do they have the stamina as I do? Not really. Although, yes, theory-based videos. The main aim is keeping the case alive and not dying. Have other channels been able to do that? To an extent, yes. But to what length? Not every day. Not for several months. People have moved back and forth onto other stuff in between. I have not. That's the difference. Separates me from most other humans, right? Just as an observational-based point, okay? So you can tell Salty Pancakes was in a mood because Pancakes has praised me in the past. Pancakes did say I had VIP access to his video material, which was appreciated at the time. But whatever's going on behind the scenes at the moment has impacted his judgment on others, such as me. As for the facts, just going off from what other people are saying, I mean, that's what most people do anyway, within a case in general. Whether it be the Zav girl, whether it be Tyler Fellow, whether it be, even Salty Pancakes, just going off what other people are saying. Even the Shack Lady, just going off from what other people are saying. Even Jim Terry, going off from what other people are saying. Everyone's doing that. Even when you do an interview with someone, you do an interview, which you've seen on YouTube. Pancakes has done it with Kurt Wadsworth and maybe Taylina at some point. Doug's done it with Candice Cooley, etc., etc. They've done an interview, they've listened to what the other person has had to say, they've noted it down, and then they talked about it afterwards and saying, this is the case, this is where we stand, this is that, and so on. Now, the thing is with Salty Pancakes is he's a little bit impetuous here. Pancakes is being a bit impetuous because, as you know, I use specific language. Most of the time, I don't go into my videos saying, it's 100% confirmed Dylan is gay. It's 100% confirmed that Candice Cooley is responsible. It's 100% confirmed that the Wadsworths are all wearing wigs because they can't grow hair like Joseph in the chat. I don't come out with that stuff, do I? What I say is there is a chance that this hints at that. There's a possibility, supposedly speaking, from what other people have said. From other people's points of view, this demonstrates that. There is a sense of this occurring. You could interpret it as that. You see, to an extent, uncertainty language. Though, with someone like Jim Terry, who's a bit bold and brash, who charges in like a bull, when he's come up with new information, he's basically said that Dylan received a speeding ticket. Dylan's drunk. Dylan's gay. Candice Cooley is suspicious. Straight to the point. I mean, it's good that he's got confidence. when he does his videos and how he speaks. But if you go in too deep and it ends up backfiring on you, it's kind of hard to crawl out. That's why I use specific language. And I would know extensively about that when I have covered the Kenny Veach case for over 2 years. Whilst Pancake's presence in the Dylan Brown's case has been quite full on in terms of actually going down to Montello, credit to him, and interviewing Kurt, credit to Pancakes, he hasn't got the experience, right? When it comes to other cases, let's just say from a YouTube standpoint. I've been on YouTube longer than Pancakes and Jim Terry and the Shack Lady, right? I've covered different cases previously and extensively. So what to say, what not to say, how to act and how not to act, when something is appropriate and when something isn't appropriate, how to address a potential fact, right, without going all in on it. Okay, listening to both the odd family member and outside external force, as what I did in the Kenny Veach case. There is a procedure and it can be followed through to an extent within the Dylan Brown's case. Okay, so it is under control. And as you know, when it's come to passing on information, supposed facts, I do say where it came from, whether it's from a significant or insignificant person. Because if not, it's like, well, who's that person then? Who's that individual? Who's that group? It's very vague. It's not exactly helpful, is it? If you know where it came from, you might as well reference it as part of crediting the individual, as well as just, just making it clear where it's from. Because if not, some people could interpret it as you're making it up yourself. And do you really want to dig yourself into a hole? No, it's not practical. Let's carry on reading. Michelle says, Kathy is one of Salty's flying monkeys. Sorry, whenever there's a monkey or whenever there's bananas, it just sets me off. Can't help it. Where is Kathy anyway? Kathy Waters. You need to have facts before you talk about someone. Right. Oh, and Andrew Culver said slatty ballsacks. What? Slatty? Oh, a bit confusing there. Right, so there is a bit of resistance. As for Michelle, I mean, okay, they've got like a default profile, but they have watched my videos for some time in regards to the Dylan Brown's case. So I appreciate that. They've not caused any trouble beforehand or showed any resistance towards me or when I've covered most things. I don't know what's going on there. But saying, Pancakes responding to Michelle saying, oh, Michelle C is sleeper cell, lol. Then he says, fuck, another alt account, buddy. Then he says, lil batch. So from the looks of it, and obviously Linda is on mouse rat patrol. I mean, I think you got to agree, Linda. It is getting to that point where you've got no choice in life to become pest control. You need to set up your own company. You need to set up your own business. You need to hire people, and you need to exterminate the problem, right, Linda? No negotiations. Get on with it. Okay. I mean, you could set up some kind of like trap, some kind of bait where you get like a glass, you fill it up with a load of wine or like melt down lots of cheese so it looks like liquid cheese. All the rats and mice get very excited, come rushing to it, and you've actually poured in a load of poison as well. I guess that's one way of crowd control, but then again, I'm sure something will go wrong. Famous Op will come walking on in and decides to drink it herself. It's like, Famous Op, no! It could be one of those things. But then again, maybe Famous Op does that secretly because so she passes out on the floor, she needs rescuing, and then the horse comes along because she likes the horse. The horse gives her the kiss of life. She comes back to life, standing right up, straight again, ready to go off to the next soccer game to support her soccer team, soccer mom. Yeah? Yeah, famous up. Yeah, you see the plots from a mile away, right? But all in all, as for the chat, you can see how it went. Just a brief burst. More to do with a misunderstanding, or more to do with background presence externally with other drama going on, which impacts and alternates a person's body language and behaviour, right? So I think with that out the way, we can actually move on to the big part of this video, okay? Oh, and just one thing before I forget, because I didn't mention it before, I do have almost like salty pancakes here with me right now, okay? He's got his little boots on, okay? Little boots, little belt. So, salty pancakes, I think it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Just hang on in there, pancakes. Keep on eating. Keep on making the videos and your live streams. Build your community, the free gang. And don't let yourself get backstabbed too much, okay? Sometimes you might feel a bit deflated, okay? Sometimes you might feel a bit damp. You might feel a bit soggy. I know some people in the chat said if Pancakes does start acting up, he transforms into soggy pancakes. He's a bit wet and he's drying, but don't worry, this magical quilt with owls embroidered upon it can dab you down. There you go, my boy. Okay, are you better now? Are you happy? Yeah, it looks like Pancakes is happy now. Yeah, I am. Good. I'll just put you down there for now. So, now we are talking specifically and directly about the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome if you're still here. Welcome if you've just joined. So, basically, credit to Mel, a person called Mel, who acknowledged, brought it into light about this. I will be presenting photos, screenshots to you to reinforce the points, okay? So, you know about Chase Venstra, okay? At the start, was he guilty of Dylan's disappearance or not? And in recent time, with the supposed alibis of being in Snowville at 7 a.m. in the morning on the 28th, transitioning down into Ogden and Clinton in that area throughout most of the day, including at 10:30 p.m. at night at Little Caesars in Ogden. He seemed like he's been busy on that day, away from Lucin. People have still assumed that maybe Chase knows something or did take a trip down to Lucin either before or halfway through the day, because there is gaps still in between from 7 in the morning to 10:30 at night. Things could have still gone on in between. You might have taken a journey, a detour elsewhere. But I guess people are like, well, he's got an alibi first of all. Did he pass his lie detector test completely? Brenner failed. Avalez, yeah. I'm sure they said. My brain's not working, this is not good. I'm sure they said Chase Venstra failed on one of the questions or something. So there was a little bit of uncertainty with that. But let's just put that aside, right? For most part of it, Chase Venstra, treated by the police, not been involved in the direct investigation of Dylan Rounds. It was separate, right? They did some kind of warrant so they could search Chase Venstra's property or something to do with Chase Venstra, found out about the guns, Chase Venstra, gun charge, kind of like Brenner, hence why they've been taken away. So they've not been charged with Dylan's disappearance, they've been charged with indirect other charges, gun charges. Does that make sense? So that should explain that at least. Now, moving on to the actual court dates. As you know, with James Brenner, that has been delayed excessively, right? We go back so many months ago. like maybe October, let's say, or maybe even before that. Around that period, there was supposed to be a court case with Brenner. It never happened. It was pushed back. It didn't happen. It was pushed back to November. I think it might have been November the 11th, possibly. That never happened. And then find out recently, but it's been delayed and pushed back to January at some point. And it's like, wow. But it can be explained in a sense that because of the Dylan Rounds case ongoing, although Brenner may not be directly charged with Dylan's disappearance yet, and it's still to do with gun charges, he is still treated as the main suspect in the Dylan Rounds case, at least. And because Dylan has not been found yet, it's basically just delaying things, delaying Brenner from being sent down so the case can be built upon with Dylan. Whilst there may be evidence which links Brenner to Dylan in some way or another, such as the boots with the DNA on it and some other bits and bobs, some evidence, some DNA behind the scenes, right? Ultimately, you need to find Dylan and his remains to, concrete the actual case, right? To get the best outcome, to get the justice, and to get closure as well. And because that's not happened yet, it's just like drag out the case, the court date, as long as possible, so there's more time to search and more time to try and find Dylan. That all makes sense, doesn't it? That's why Brenner will be doing his court case, supposedly speaking, sometime in January. And you never know, there might be a possibility it could be delayed again to February. I guess time will tell. But that aside, what about Chase Venstra, right? What's happened with his court case, his court date? Well, supposedly speaking, Chase Venstra was supposed to have his court case scheduled on the 5th of December. 5th of December, right? What day is it today? The 10th of December. So, has his court case happened yet or not? Not from the looks of it. No one seemed to have talked about it at this moment in time. Not much in the news. And when the odd person researched themselves, they could not find anything either and told me about it. Okay? So, has it been delayed or not? What's truly happened? Well, I've got some screenshots, some material to share with you right now, and it will explain the situation with Chase Venstra and his court date. Are you ready? Let's head on over now. Okay, so here we are. It's on the Utah courts. I will zoom in so it's easier for you to see. That should be okay. So some options above. It says State of Utah Attorneys Arnold Gage Nelson Jason versus Chase Montgomery Venstra. Chase Venstra. Okay. Attorneys, case number, and it says the time, 8:59 a.m. the 12th, the 23rd, 2022. So, assuming that's the court case, because it does give the case number, the time, and the date of when it's going to go down. That's the 23rd of December. So you went from the 5th of December, the court case schedule, and now it's pushed back to the 23rd of December from the looks of it. Now, why is that? You can think for yourself down below in the chat. We'll just go through the rest of this. Judge, commissioner, rotation judge, third review of extradition, not applicable. DOB, 5th, the 25th, 1981, not applicable. Fugitive from justice warrant of arrest, 6th of the 6th, 2022. Okay, fine. So, as you can see, it says third review of extradition. What's extradition? Extradited, another word for it, where basically you get handed on over to another jurisdiction based off where the crime was committed. Is that definitely correct in saying it that way, I assume? I hope I said that correctly. Now, as for Chase Venstra, right, and you can reconfirm it down below or recorrect. So it's based off a gun charge. I assume that's to do with, well, I assume it's to do with Montello, Nevada, right? Because where else would it be? Or would it be Park Valley? Yeah, either Park Valley or Montello, Nevada. In terms of when the actual arrest warrant, the search when finding the guns associated with Chase Venstra, was it Montello, was it Park Valley, or somewhere else? If you know, feel free to list it in the chat down below. That would be appreciated. The reason why I say that is because it's not really been talked about exactly where it happened. They talked about search warrants, they talked about arrests, talked about Dylan not being, Chase Venstra not being associated with the Dylan's disappearance, but they've not said exactly where this warrant took place. Was it Montello, Nevada? Was it Park Valley? And in addition, the reason why I mention those places is because with Park Valley, there was all those rumours going about that there was a police presence in Park Valley in regards to Chase Venstra. So maybe that's where the search took place and arrest. And if not that, I only can think of Montello because of Salt3Pancak3s going to Chase Venstra's homestead, in which you had all those abandoned trailers, lawnmowers, vehicles, trucks, boots found, and ammunition scattered about. So that's the only other thing I can think of in terms of location. Bear in mind, Candice Cooley did say Chase Venstra doesn't hang in one spot, he moves about from Montello to Ogden, back and forth. So, make of it as you will, right? Just wanted to let you know about that. And, because I don't refer to it that often, and I hope I'm referring to the correct individual, but wasn't there that time in 2016 or 2017 when Chase Venstra, not more of a standoff in his home, where he had bulletproof vest, grenades, guns, handguns, and it was a 10-hour standoff with the police? Am I correct in saying that? I know that happened, and I assume that applied to Chase Venstra, I'm sure, because you got those old mugshots as well of him in the past. Yeah, I'm sure about it, because it couldn't be anyone else, any other suspects I've looked at within this Dylan Rounds case, because I've only looked at a number of them and focused. So yeah, Chase Venstra, he's got a history of that stuff. So no surprise there with gun charges. Bit of a short temper, possibly snaps at times, done for kind of like stalking and breaking the protection order with the ex-girlfriend or ex-wife and children, but that's that in the past. So yeah, okay. So he's not been extradited yet. He's not been passed on over yet, right? So, whether you're looking at this court case, it being pushed back further, or just the idea that it's yet the third review of extradition, however you say it, is trying to come to a conclusion of why. Why is that? If we're basing it off the same stipulation with James Brenner, how James Brenner's court case is being delayed after delay after delay, but the original charge, though, was to do with gun charges and not related to Dylan exactly, but the case being delayed in the presence of pending evidence, searches for Dylan's remains, you could say, well, is there any suspicion with Chase Venstra that he's not been passed on over yet for the actual crime of the gun charges to be passed into a different jurisdiction because there is still some kind of pending suspicion and association with Venstra, Chase, and Dylan Rounds, the disappearance? Is that a possibility? Let's do a poll right now just to disperse any confusion, okay? With the extradition / court date pending being delayed, Do you think it has anything to do with wandering suspicion that Chase Venstra could be involved in Dylan's disappearance or have some knowledge in some way, despite previous alibis? Yes, no, maybe. Leave your thoughts, make sure to vote right now. I mean, you never know, right? Because like how it's been worded by most people in the case and even the family, no one's been written off completely. Some people might have stories and alibis, but they're not 100% innocent. No one is. That's how it's been worded. Mainly because like the likes of Box Elder County Sheriff's Office, the LE, have not written people off, interviewed, cleared people's names, even the family members. Although the family members to most people see them as innocent and not involved, and the family members themselves know that they're innocent too, technically they're still kind of like a suspect because they've not been cleared, they've not been interviewed, no press conferences, releases, nothing like that. Will it ever happen? Probably not. Probably not. Just how it is. So that doesn't help either. But it's just like there's certain parts within the case which have kind of gone a bit quiet and not much going on, right? There's been talks about the hole in the grain shed back and forth. Shack Lady recently saying some kind of biological matter was found there, hence why the hole was dug. And the FBI was responsible for it. And it's like, what type of biological matter? To what extent? What quantity? This, that. And then even just the lie detector test, right? What about that? You know, the questions, the direct responses, the behaviour, ever going to be released? Still unknown of. Chase Venstra's, what was his like? What did he supposedly lie about, right? And why? I hope I'm correctly saying that. Sometimes it gets a bit hard keeping track of which ones passed, which ones didn't. I mean, do a quick like little count now in my head or outside my head. Brenner lied, yeah. Aviles passed. Don Hately passed, but had lied in the past, but not on the detector test. And Chase Venstra supposedly lied as well with one question or so. I think that's the correct order, right? So Venstra has lied with something. Maybe that's been associated with this extradition being extended, dragged out, maybe. Because like, what other reason? Wouldn't you want to do it as soon as possible? And as well, when you saw that date, the 23rd of December, that's like 2 days before Christmas, right? Are they really going to do it that late? Like, I don't know how things work in certain countries, but I know certain stuff. I know things will remain open for business because they have to, they are necessary. But, you know, some things are closed if it's on a holiday, if it's a time of celebration, if it's, you know, Christmas, right? As I said, I'm not an expert with every building and infrastructure and opening times and opening hours. I'm not some kind of construction developer or some kind of architectural designer, right? So I'm not going to know. But if you know, list it down below. Do you think that the court case date, this review, third review, whatever, that on the 23rd, is it likely to happen, or do you think it will be delayed once again? That'd be interesting. Like, what I would say is, if we get to the 23rd of December and Chase Venstra is still where he's at, he's not moved on, not followed on, not much else has happened, stationary like Brenner, and if it's delayed into January, then it does start making me think there is some kind of suspicion building, association with Brenner, Chase Venstra, right? That's just how it feels. Because, like, why else would you want to delay it? You want to get it over and done with as soon as possible. The only external factors I can think of is, could Chase Venstra have been stubborn, awkward, the legal team not being ready, prepared, or trying to gather more notes, like some stronger defense or some argument. You know, behind the scenes type stuff, something being dragged out, not quite prepared already, and that's why they've decided to drag it out? Could it be that the ones within the court that make the decisions haven't quite come to a conclusion, or don't know how to see things fit at this moment, so they've made it longer to review? I don't know, because I'm not a court case expert, nor have I been in court, so I'm not going to know. But you can share your thoughts down below to why you think that Chase Venstra is in a similar position as Brenner right now, considering both have been charged unrelated to the Dylan Rounds case. They've been charged with gun charges separate from Dylan's case, and yet they are both being treated similar in terms of kind of like where they're held at individually, right? Leave your thoughts down below. Is there anything else to bring up? I think we've got a couple more screenshots to share with you. Okay, we'll just get onto them now. Just bear with me. So here we are. This is just like another screenshot regarding Chase Venstra, as you see. Utah, once again, search results. There's a little data profile aspect below. Chase Montgomery Venstra, custody record, age 41 years of age. So he is one of the younger individuals when you compare him to the likes of Ed Harshberger, Don Hately, Brenner, even TyCorbyn. People within the case, not all suspects, but just people in general in the case. Most people in the Dylan Rounds case are kind of older, okay? Whereas Chase is 41. Gender, male. Race, white. UT. What does that mean, UT? Utah? I don't know. ... Davis County Sheriff's Office. Gives the ID number partially. Custody status, in custody. Custody details, Davis County Jail. Now, as for Brenner, we can get onto him in a second. So, Chase is at Davis County Jail, right? He's not gone to prison yet. He's in jail, just like how Brenner is, but elsewhere. Now, I'm sure someone said that Chase was at Box Elder County Jail. It doesn't seem to be the case here, unless he was once at Box Elder County Jail and moved on. I'm not quite sure. But as for the records here, factually speaking, from the looks of it at least, custody detail, Davis County Jail. That's where Chase is at. Correct me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I've misinterpreted the language. I'm just basing it off what I read on here, which you can find on the public documents, okay? So yeah, that's Chase. Now, as for Brenner, right, you do like a little search here. You select the location, the name, etc. Fill it in. And when an individual tried it themselves and told me about it, they said, no results found. Possible reasons, there are no matches. Holding facility is in a non-participating area or is offline. Search is not available for high-profile defendants. Well, Brenner isn't exactly one of those, I don't think. Information regarding some offenders cannot be disclosed due to safety and security concerns. If you search does not produce the offender you are looking for, please contact the facility where you believe the offender is housed to inquire about their custody status. Record tracking facility is offline and status updates are not currently available. Okay, anything else? Anything else? No, that's about it. Okay, so the reason explained by the individual, another person, when they tried looking for Brenner and could not, they said because it's gone federal, actually turned into a federal case, then that's why you can no longer find Brenner, right? That's what they said. I'm not going to know because I'm not an expert with that stuff, but I guess if things switch and change, then information becomes limited. At some point previously, details, information might have been available, right? But now, no longer. Even if it wasn't available then, nor is it now, I do remember a YouTube channel, and I can't remember which one it was now. I don't know if it was Zav Girl. I don't know if it was a lesser known channel, but someone did call up the jail Weber County Jail and just confirmed, is there a guy there named Brenner and why? And the officer or whoever on the phone did respond back and confirm that. So like as explained on that report, what you saw where it said, if you can't find what you're looking for, ask the facility, ask the people at a place about it and they can respond, and there you go. So yeah, that is interesting with Chase Venstra, right? The way it's gone with him. Still up and down, isn't it? Kind of like a roller coaster. Somewhat suspicious, then not, then suspicious, then completely not, and then kind of suspicious. It's up and down. It's not stable, and that's the thing with the Dylan Rounds case. Not much is stable, not even the facts. So you're constantly guessing and questioning yourself and questioning other people around. And when you do have the outer characters showing up and acting how they do in the fake accounts, you know, understandably, if you've got trust issues or you start developing them, this is probably not a good place to be when it comes to the Dylan Rounds case. You know, you think that's an authentic person or you think that's a real person, then it's a fake account, then it's not, then there's another account pretending to be real, acts in a more authentic way, then it turns out to be a fake account. So trust issues left, right and centre, disaster, red lights flashing all over the place. So yeah, wild. Okay, so suddenly I have teleported to here. Where am I? Well, the location does not matter. What does matter is what I'm about to say. It's nearly time for me to go, because we have reached arguably the end of this video, okay? Just, I don't know, can we do like some kind of cinematic shot? Not quite, I look like an idiot in the dark. It's actually snowing here, you probably can't see. Can you see it on my arm? See the white stuff? It's not dandruff, it is snow. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. So, not only is it cold, it's wet. Very wet. And I'm stood in a puddle, which isn't great. So I'm not quite sure if we'll receive any resistance tonight in the chat. I don't know if any dodgy stuff will show up, but who knows? We'll see how it goes. And as for the title, if any humans do complain saying, oh, why are you dragging people's name into this? Why are you using other people's names? Is it manipulative? No. The titles are based on relevancy of content and coverage in the actual video. There's no point calling it toilet review when you're talking about a bedroom. It's like, there's no correlation there. So basically the title of this video is basically what's mentioned and talked about in this video as the title describes. Does that make sense? Probably don't need to do a tutorial on that. So hopefully that explains it. I'm trapped in between these fucking leaves, which is just perfect. The lighting's just a little bit better there. As well as you saw, another experimentation this time round, reading from the comment section of my own videos and answering certain stuff and giving my own opinions. Whilst yes, I can respond back directly in the comment section, which I'll continue to do so, if there is a time where the comment section of a video is quite interesting, like today, I can actually include it in another video, like I did today. Let me know if you want to see a continuation of that, because it's kind of simple to do, and I guess arguably it's a bit more interactive. There's snow building on top of me. I can't feel my hands now, so I better stop just in case I drop the phone. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. If you've got any more points, additional things, questions, list it down below and we'll see what happens. Does anyone need whipping tonight? I guess we'll find out, won't we, in the live premiere, and I will be present. So yeah, good night for now, and I'll see you next time whenever that video shall come. Most likely the map analysis of unexplored places of interest. Remember that one? Okay, it's time to go now.